Hello and welcome. This is Troy from CMS Cutlery. I basically wanted to go over really quick with you the 5 tools that I think every groomer should have in their toolkit. It's essential, and yeah, I do believe that you should have a toolkit.
Nice job on the blades, Troy. Great job.
Thanks. Well, how long have you been using CMS Cutlery?
Oh, at least 5 years.
Awesome. Number 1, you should have a flathead screwdriver. This one is universal, flathead and Phillips. But to save time, I got both of them. You get a Phillips screwdriver. Okay? You need a toothbrush. I have a nylon brush and I have a wire brush. And the drywall sanding sponge. This is great. You can get this at Home Depot. It comes in fine, medium, coarse, and this is excellent for a situation like this here. See these clipper blades here? When they, see if the camera can pick that up. You see inside the groove here, that's where the nylon glide goes from your spring. Yeah, I'll just show you how this works. You got the nylon glide, the spring and socket. It makes one unit. Fits onto the clipper blade and the cutter slides back and forth on it. Well, you see that nylon glide? Look at how much corrosion and grime and dirt that's inside that. You see that clipper blade? I'm over at a horse ranch right now out in, I guess I shouldn't say the name. But anyway, this drywall sanding sponge comes in fine, medium, or coarse. It's got corners to fit perfectly inside the groove of this nylon glide. Now, this is basically, I'm just going to show you really quick how I clean this. I get those corners in here, and when one corner wears down, I just switch to another corner. You know, I could go at all 4 corners. And then the flat face of it, I can get the front of the clipper blade. So if you got rust and corrosion on the back of your clipper blades, it's a 2-step process, which is, I'm going to show you the whole process in a minute. But let me just show you how. You see all of that? That's hair, dirt, dander, rust, corrosion, it's all in here. Now when that gets like that, basically even if your blades were sharp, it would slow the cutter down and it would cause your blades to drag. So what I'm trying to get across is basically there's a whole host of reasons why a clipper blade won't cut, aside from it being improperly sharpened. But if you could eliminate a lot of these variables on your own, you know, with a good cleaning regimen, you know, that's 50% of the battle. But just watch this really quick. Now this is really caked in there, good. Couple 4 or 5 strokes. Let's get it this way. And I'm not using any pressure either. I'm letting the drywall sanding sponge do the work for me. Check that out. Now I'll go with some regular Ulster blade wash. Dip this into my bin here. I'll get my regular toothbrush. I'll clean inside that same groove that I was showing you. I get my wire brush and I brush down into the heat. That's to get all of the hair from in between the teeth. Because if you get that grit and sand in between the teeth and the hair doesn't get into the teeth so that the cutter can come by and slice it, then you got another problem. And this, again, has nothing to do with sharpening. This is just a blade cleaning program. But, okay, so now we cleaned that. We dried it off. Look at that. That's almost brand new. That camera, this is a high definition camera too. Right? This is almost brand new. I mean, I didn't even sharpen this blade, and I would almost guarantee that this blade would probably cut better than it was cutting. But now I'm going to go ahead and sharpen it, but that's basically the 5 tools that you want to use. So again, I get my wire brush. And this, I got this from, I think, Home Depot also, maybe Pet Boys or something. But it comes in a wire brush, it comes in a copper, and it comes in a nylon brush. You get a set of 3. And this is excellent for removing the grit in between the teeth. Alright? Make it in between the teeth look like new again. And this is all before sharpening. Again, you see all of that hurt, dander, dirt? It's caked up in there. Go across like that. And I usually tell groomers, I say, listen, at the end of the day, when you guys are vacuuming the place, and you know, have your shampoo girl you really don't have to go this hard as far as disassembling the blades. These blades are about to be sharpened, that's why they were disassembled. But you could just get your brush and just clean in between here, oil them up nice. So once let's go with the blade wash on this really quick, just so we can see how nice this is going to look, even before sharpening. Now you saw that blade before. Right here, let's dry it off. Hold that to the side. Dry that off. Look at that blade now. You see how nice that blade is? I mean, that's just awesome. That's what you want. And this should be done every day. And what I like to do, since this is a nice big blade and we get to see this up close. Again, I got my cutter here. I put oil right into the groove of that nylon glide. That's where you oil a clipper blade. Again, you got the comb. I put it right along that back rail and right along the cutting surface. And that's enough. Just a bead of oil. Not enough to mess up the coat while you're grooming. You know. Now let's quickly go over the key parts of a clipper blade. A lot of people think that this is the top of a clipper blade. You know, where you see the words and where the screws go. This is actually the bottom. That's called the bottom comb, and this is called the top cutter. All right? Because the cutter slides back and forth. That's the action of the blade there. Okay? So you got the comb and you got the top cutter. You have your unit, which is comprised of a socket. You got a spring, and on the spring you got a nylon guide. Again, that nylon guide fits inside the cutter when I put the blade back together, and it slides back and forth. The blade drive goes inside the cutter here, and you know, drives the blade back and forth. Again, if this cutter is all gummed up with hair, dirt, and dander, and then you sprayed coolant on it to bake it in there, and you left it overnight, it'll start sliding like this right here. It could be a freshly sharpened blade, but if it's not going back at the speed that it was designed to go, you're going to have problems. So you're going to say, hey, the sharpening guy didn't do a good job, or whatever the case may be. But basically, that's the 5 tools that you need to have in your toolkit. A wire brush for getting in between the teeth, a nylon brush for cleaning the blade, drywall sanding sponge, fine, medium, or coarse, flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, so that you can disassemble your blades. And also, hey, we'll throw this in as a bonus, a pair of pliers. Check out why this is important. Remember the spring and the socket I was showing you as one unit? What will happen over many times of you putting a clipper blade on and off your clipper is these little ears will spread apart. And you'll put the clipper blade onto the machine and it'll rattle. And a lot of times I get calls for sharpening because the clipper blade is rattling. And that has nothing to do with sharpening. Basically, a really quick fix, you take your pliers and you squeeze that socket closed. Now, I don't do squeeze downs. If I get a clipper blade that rattles, I replace the socket because I feel like, but I mean, that's just a quick fix that you can do, you know, to get you through your grooming day or whatever. But you probably want to call and get that replaced. I replace sockets because I feel like if the metal is that old and fatiguing that much where it's spreading and opening, then it's not, you know, that's not going to solve the problem forever, just closing it back. So I like to replace sockets. A lot of sharpeners don't do that. They'll just squeeze them down. I don't. I just replace parts. And I like to make the problem go away. So again, that's Troy Hargrove, CMS Cutlery, and I hope you'd enjoyed the 5 key things you need to have in your grooming kit. All right, signing off.